Welcome to the Quantum Mama podcast, where frequency meets faith, science meets spirit, and motherhood becomes a portal to divine expansion. Hosted by Katelyn Simmons, a Jesus-loving, frequency-healing, free birth mama on a mission to help you heal your body, align your energy, and unlock true abundance, inside and out. Each week, she dives into holistic health, nervous system wisdom, quantum biology, faith-filled manifestation, and frequency-based living, all through the lens of motherhood, entrepreneurship, authenticity, and walking boldly in your God-given purpose. Because you weren't made to just survive. You were made to thrive, vibrantly, authentically, wildly, and in total alignment. Let's recalibrate. Let's expand. Let's do life the Quantum Mama way.
Hello, welcome to the very first episode of the Quantum Mama podcast, where frequency meets faith, science meets spirit, and motherhood becomes a portal to divine expansion. This is a space where I want to have the conversation like as if we were sitting down and having coffee together. I'll probably usually have my coffee, my water, my tea, all the things, and really just having a heart-to-heart about the things that I have come to find transformative in my life. In this episode, I really just want to go over a little bit of my background and a little bit of my story. This way you know where I'm coming from. I really have had a lot of hard things happen in my past, and those are the things that pushed me to find answers. They pushed me to call out to God and ask for help. They pushed me to open my eyes to new paradigms. So I'm your host, Katelyn Simmons. I love Jesus. I'm going to be talking about God and my relationship with Him and my faith. But I don't expect you to agree with everything that I say, so I want you to know that you're welcome no matter what your beliefs are. I also want you to know that you're welcome whether you're a mom or not, but I am a free birth having mom who does a lot of things in a different way. I really like to challenge what we were taught as right. I really like to look at things from every angle and then make the best decision for myself. I have learned that my past self made a lot of decisions out of fear. And so every time I go forward in making a new decision, I try to have discernment and I try to look at it from outside perspectives, talk to God about it, and make a decision based on discernment, not fear. And I'm on a mission to help you do the same. This way you have the empowerment and the tools to help heal your own body, encourage your body to do what it was actually designed to do. Your body was made to heal itself. I want you to think about that for a second, real quick. When you get a cut, it will heal itself. When you have something happen in your body, it was made to knit itself back together and restore and go back to homeostasis. We want to encourage the body to be able to do that. And right now in our society, we are bombarded by a lot of things that make that really hard to happen. And so when we can come in with the tools that I want to break down and share with you as we move through these episodes, you'll have the empowerment to bring that back, that inner knowing back to where your body already has that inner knowing, but you're going to bring back the balance so that it can actually do what it was designed to do. I want to help you align your energy and unlock true abundance in every area of your life, inside and out. This show is your invitation to transform. I want to kick things off by sharing a little bit of my transformation story, even though there's so much to it, because I know that if you're here, you're craving something deeper too. My journey actually started back when I was 13 years old with Lyme and chronic health challenges. I recovered, I got better in holistic ways, in alternative therapies, but then in my early 20s, I was hit again. This time in a different way, this time with tremors and mold toxicity, unresolved pain, and then trauma after trauma, traumas that impacted me in ways I didn't know how to recover from, that felt like they would be with me for the rest of my life. I was already immersed in holistic health probably most of my life. I remember, thinking back to being a kid, my mom bought us healthy food. She went to naturopaths. We went to the chiropractor. We did things in a very holistic way for most of my life. And so for health to go downhill, for these types of things to happen, that forced me to look beyond that, not only to look beyond the Western medical system, which I tried. I tried back when my journey started at 13, and I tried again when I was rear-ended on the freeway. And it actually just felt like it made me worse. So I had to look beyond what Western medicine offered, and I had to look beyond what just the holistic root cause community was offering. And it was tough. I remember I got to a point in 2021 where it felt like everything came crashing down. It felt like I was at my lowest low. I really was barely holding it together. I was able to really keep it together on the outside for my clients and for my business and for my friends and people in my life. Hello, people pleaser. Holy moly, I was putting up a front. People didn't know how bad things were for me. I couldn't drive. I had to plan out my driving routes so that if I had a panic attack, I had enough time to still get there before my first client and set up for the day. I knew my routes. I couldn't drive on the freeway. I would have to take the back roads and literally stop on the side of the road if a panic attack started. I had anxiety and depression, and they were silently running my life. They were debilitating. I remember I was just talking to my mom, and I was like, I am so organized now, and it is so much easier for me to be clean and, kind of not meticulous, but everything is just easy now. Like it doesn't feel like doing the dishes or making dinner or organizing feels like it's going to take everything out of me. She's like, Katelyn, that's how you used to be before you got sick. And it's true. It's like sickness, and whether it's in your mental health, emotional health, physical health, it takes away who you truly are. That's why a big part of my business, I talk about authenticity. And as you heal and as you restore yourself and you remove trapped emotions and toxins and you start to step into being your most authentic self, the parts of you that you think are flaws or the things that you just can't seem to understand why you are the way you are, a lot of times those types of things fall away because it's actually not who you truly are. In this case, being unorganized and overwhelmed by little things and not being able to cook dinner were depression and anxiety and overwhelm and trapped emotions and not feeling good and being in chronic pain. And then when those things started to go away, it was easy. And my creativity came back. Like, my life looks so different now. I have had multiple over and over and over from the things that I'm going to be sharing with you in this podcast. And one of the reasons why I want to have this podcast and sit down with you and chat with you one-on-one like this is because I can't go into it this deep on the platforms that I'm currently using. Like right now, I share a lot on my Instagram and my Facebook, and I do my best to explain things. I've made so many videos, thousands of videos, and they're short. They're really short, so I can't have the whole conversation with you. And so within this podcast, I really want to try to have the real, deep, full conversations. So back to who I was when I was in my place of desperation. During the day, I could show up and hold space for my clients, and I could be there. And I am an empathetic person. I am an empath, a true empath. And I can feel what's going on with other people. I was not a healed empath back then. And so it drained me. It sucked the life out of me. And back then, what we're going to learn when we dive into the laws of the universe and we start diving into attraction, like magnetism and what you're attracting in your life, it's going to make even more sense as we get through all these layers of the things to chat about. But I was attracting a lot of people who were there to steal my energy. They were coming to me to get help and to get better, and I was not setting the boundaries. I was not able to help them in a way that served them in the best way because it was depleting me. So I was basically running on stress hormones and adrenaline, and then would get through the day, and by the time I got home and my body was finally able to relax, sometimes I would crawl up the stairs. I was in so much pain. My lower back hurt so bad from that car accident, and it would just, I'd be on the floor. But my poor husband, he's been my rock through all of this. But I would end most days in tears. I don't know if this is the right word for it, but having kind of like a mental breakdown. That probably sounds really extreme, but just in tears, like, I'm so exhausted. How can I keep going? Just like questioning my life and questioning my choices. Like, am I even helping anyone? I want to help people, but how am I supposed to help people when I can't even help myself? So it was a dark time that most people didn't know about. A lot of tears, a lot of just questioning and wondering, how am I supposed to live my life like this? And it felt like it was going to go on forever. I thought, is my back ever going to get better? Am I ever going to get out of this cycle? I was in a cycle, guys, of spending all my money on treatments and therapies and the next thing and certifications and everything I possibly could to get relief so that I could go to work, so that I could pay my overhead, so that I could pay rent, to live in Southern California and not getting ahead. I was on a hamster wheel, and it just felt like a hamster wheel of every part of my life. So I want to speak to you, if that's who you are, if that's where you are right now in your life. Keep listening, keep showing up, keep going, and be open to change and be open to transformation. One of the biggest things that we are, as humans, that we are resistant to is change. So when you come and you want to listen to these episodes that I'm going to share with you, I want you to set your intention that you are ready and willing to change and transform, no matter how it looks. I am ready, I am willing to change and transform, no matter how it looks. That's when the magic happens. Okay, in one of those really dark days, in a tear-filled moment, I had a divine download from God. It sounds crazy, but I heard God say to search on Instagram, Christian energy healing. How specific can you get? I was asking for help, asked God so many times, lead me to the next thing. What am I supposed to do? How am I going to heal? I want to get better. My background, I want to share a little bit of my background. When you are a Christian, this stuff is off limits. This stuff is considered New Age, witchcraft, and you're not supposed to look into this stuff. At least from what I was taught, and at least from the circles I was around and the teachings I had heard, it had made me very fearful of anything that said energy healing stuff. So I didn't know much. When I was back in massage school, there was a course, a day, where everyone went to go learn about crystals, and I felt so uncomfortable that I got up and left. The class. I was supposed to stay in there all day. That's where I came from. So no matter where you are in the spectrum of, maybe you understand all this energy frequency stuff and you're just here for it and you're like, yeah, or maybe you're super skeptical like I was, I can relate to you on either side of the spectrum, because now I am gung-ho. This stuff, learning this stuff has made me have a better and deeper relationship with my creator. Quantum physics. I am not a quantum physicist, but everything I have learned about quantum physics has made me fall more in love with my creator and has made me so confident that the truths in the Bible are truth, and that the way he created this universe all point back to him. So with that said, if you're skeptical like I was, or scared or fearful, keep listening. God told me to search Christian energy healing on Instagram, and I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if that existed, and I don't know what I thought. I was just very desperate. I knew it was from him though. So that search led me to something that would change everything, and praise God that he speaks to us. He still speaks to us today. That search led me to the emotion code. Have you heard of the emotion code? It's a modality created by Dr. Bradley Nelson. It is incredible. I found a woman's profile on Instagram who was a Christian who practiced the emotion code. She had a page talking about it, and I clicked on it and I thought, wow, she's breaking this down. If she thinks it's okay, I want to try it. I don't know if I messaged her, but I checked her calendar and she was booked out for weeks. And I was like, I need help today. I need help yesterday. I need help. So I looked up the emotion code on Google, found Discover Healing, which is their site. And if anyone is hearing this and you get super excited and you're like, I want to learn to be an emotion code practitioner, I will share my link that you can use to become an emotion code certified practitioner. It's incredible. Highly recommend it. But I signed up for the certification that day. I knew it was from God. I was so excited to figure out this new way of balancing my body. This was stuff I hadn't learned yet. And one of the things that I was so excited about that was going to be taught in the certification that I saw right away was how to muscle test. Muscle testing was one of those energetic things that I had been exposed to most of my life that I didn't understand. And I didn't realize that it was very energetic. It was kind of one of those woo-woo things. But if you've ever been to a chiropractor, chiropractors use muscle testing, and chiropractors learn how to muscle test when they go to school. I remember asking a chiropractor that I really wanted to learn muscle testing. I asked her, I said, how can I learn how to muscle test? This gatekeeping gal said, you have to go to chiropractic school. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If that is not the farthest thing from the truth. So when I left thinking, man, I don't want to go through all that work of going to chiropractic school. I've already done so many certifications. I've already done so much. Like, I just want to get better. I think if I knew how to muscle test, I could figure a lot more out. The emotion code. The emotion code taught me how to muscle test. It was one of the first courses I ever took. And I went on to take other muscle testing courses and buy books and learn more, but it was just a godsend in more than one way. So I went through the certification. I think I finished it in 2 weeks. I had lots of practice clients because I had my in-person practice. I started asking everyone that would come into my office, can I practice on you? Can I practice on you? Can I do this on you? And the results that we saw were so, I have to say, magnificent. They were magnificent. To see the instant changes in people was so profound. And it was simply through muscle testing and swiping over the governing meridian. Meridians are proven by science. And so explaining this to people brought all these questions and concerns and fear, where that was when my content on social media took a shift. Before that, social media had been a place where I posted regularly to get more clients for my in-person practice. Then it took a shift and I started educating on why this is not evil, why this is something that is safe for Christians. So the emotion code was incredible. I was so stoked about it. I was so excited. I was using it. I was seeing immediate transformation in my life. I was doing better emotionally. And I started to see that I could totally shift my whole practice and go virtual, which had been a dream of mine, to have a virtual practice where I didn't have to go into an office every day and lug everything there and lock everything up and pay rent and do all these different things and all the overhead stuff and scheduling and being so drained by clients. I was so drained by my in-person clients back then. It healed me now. I don't think I would have such an issue with that. It took a long time to heal from that burnout though. And so let's see. Let's backtrack a little bit. Found the emotion code, started using it, had such a radical transformation really quickly, got certified, practiced on my clients. Then I was searching on YouTube about the emotion code, and this gal named Juliana popped up, and she was talking about the AO scan. And so I had already had a bioresonance tech, so, kind of a little bit in the energy stuff, but it was physical. You put your hand on a cradle, and then it reads you with the computer. And so I was doing that type of bioresonance with my in-person clients, but she was talking about bioresonance where you could be anywhere in the world and get a scan done. Like, that sounds cool. That probably cost like 10 times as much as mine did. And mine was $1,000. So I booked an appointment with her to get a scan over the phone. She was in Puerto Rico. I was in Southern California. And she did a scan for me, and it showed all these things that it was like it read my mind. It knew everything about me. It picked up on the mold toxicity from the apartment I was living in. It picked up on the emotional stuff because it reads your voice and does sound therapy. And then she was able to send custom frequencies to me for mold and for all the different, top things I was going through. And when I saw the value and the power of that and how well that could mesh into the virtual practice I was going to be shifting into, and how I could use that with my clients with the emotion code, in another way to support your emotions, I jumped on that day. I signed up for the AO scan, and back then you had to purchase a whole device. You had to get a device plus the subscription, but I was so excited. The AO scan blew every other bioresonance tech I had learned about out of the water. And that was the beginning of a brand new chapter, not just in healing and not just in identity, but in my purpose and abundance, and being able to empower clients and empower other people, and now empower thousands of other people with tools that they can use to transform their life. And ever since I found the emotion code and the AO scan, I have had 180 after 180 after 180 in my life and my business and my mindset and everything. And now I get to guide other women through their own recalibration with faith and with frequency and with a nervous system that finally feels safe to receive it. Your nervous system has to feel safe to receive the health and the wealth and the life that you desire and the life you want to create. And so when you're here, this is just the welcome episode, but when you're here in these episodes on this podcast, when I'm sharing my heart, I am going to be melding together health and abundance because they are one. If you don't have health, you don't have wealth. And if you don't have abundant wealth, financial support, if you don't feel supported abundantly and have prosperity, that is going to affect your health too. It's all connected. And so I want to help marry those two together. A lot of times I see these different niches and it's either one or the other. But it is all of it. It is all of it. And I want to help you to find freedom in all of the areas of your life too. So I want to pause really quick and actually kind of explain what frequency is and what frequency healing is, because this might all sound crazy. The emotion code, AO scan, bioresonance, what PEMF, I'm kind of all over the place with all these words. So let's simplify it down. And that's what we're going to be doing in the episodes, is really simplifying and explaining and breaking it down so it makes sense and so it's tangible. But let's start with frequency healing. What even is frequency healing? I thought it sounded like vague, woo-woo, new age junk. I didn't think it had a place in the Christian or scientific world. But frequency is literally just physics. Frequency is physics. Everything in God's creation carries a unique frequency, including your voice, your brain waves, your emotions, your organs, and your thoughts. So, for example, your liver has a specific frequency that it should be resonating at. The earth has a specific frequency that we need. These are the little reels that I'm sharing all the time, talking about the frequency of bees, the frequency of crickets, the frequency of the ocean waves. The sun has frequencies. When those frequencies are disrupted through trauma, toxins, stress, or disconnection, it affects everything. It affects your entire system. So frequency healing is not some woo-woo magic new age thing. It's actually just going back to the way God designed us. It's about bringing your body back into resonance. So a resonant frequency means whole and beautiful and healthy. Imagine a beautiful violin playing or a beautiful cello. I used to play the cello. I was in an orchestra. When the cello is playing in tune, it's resonant and it's beautiful and it gives you life. It sounds so beautiful. I love listening to the cello. But if it's out of tune, it really can sound terrible. And you're like, my goodness, I remember when I'd be practicing in my room and I would hear my brother knocking on my door, turn that thing off, stop playing. Because it didn't sound good. It was out of tune. It was out of resonance. That's how you can envision the parts of your body and the parts of your life. If you have a disconnect financially, there's a dysresonant frequency. There's frequency that's low or off. If you have an unhealthy liver, there is dysresonance. There are frequencies out of whack in your liver. So when I started to understand that, I stopped resisting it, which, as you heard my story, I started learning this, going through the emotion code, reading those books, and then just dipping my toes into this and starting the certification, learning about these couple of things, the emotion code and then the AO scan. that's when a fire was lit and I started to go crazy with reading. I have tons of books. This is just a small, if you're looking on video, this is just a small collection of some of my books. I have a whole bunch of books over there. I've got books everywhere. My husband's like, you gotta stop buying books. Like, no, this is to fill up my library someday. But I started being so hungry to learn more. So hungry. And when you start learning this stuff, I think you will be hungry to learn more too. That's where the quantum reading list was born. 10 of my favorite quantum books to help you get started. That's where the frequency ebook that I put together was born, because so many people came to me asking for more, asking, where can I learn more? Where can I dive in? Where can I start? So I made those 2 starting places, which you can of course get for free. I'll put them in the show notes, the description. But it was like, as soon as my eyes were opened and I stopped resisting it, everything I needed to know to take away the fear came in. And so if that's you, if you have any fear around this or you feel resistance, simply just stop right now and ask God, help me to get rid of this fear and trade it for true discernment. I want to hear your voice. And he will open the doors. He will show you. He will lead you to exactly what you need to read or hear or see. And I believe it's going to make your relationship with your Creator greater. I saw how Jesus spoke healing into existence. Speaking is power. Speaking is vibration. Speaking is frequency. Words and faith carry vibration. I started to realize that this was not against my faith. It was deeply aligned with it. I believe these are truths that the church is missing. And so I want to use my voice and now my platforms and use this information that should be basic knowledge, I think, and share it so that our whole world realizes healing can be a lot more simple than we've been taught. And it does not go against your faith. And that's when things really started to shift. It wasn't just physically shifting, spiritually too. My trust and my faith. I had to trust God would provide for most of my life. I had to trust God would get me through things. But this actually showed me, learning these principles, these quantum truths, showed me the science behind why faith and why belief work. Like, it's true. Everything in the Bible is just pointing to how good our God is and how he set up this world for us in such an incredible way. Okay, I'm off on a tangent, but these are the things that helped healing stop feeling like a struggle. So I want to give you 3 things that I wish more women knew when they hit for me, it was my 2020 moment, but when you hit your low point and you just need something new and you need a fresh fire and you need the next step, and you are ready for change and transformation, these are the 3 things that I wish more women knew. Looking back, if I could sit down with the version of me from 2021, sobbing in pain, scared to drive, having panic attacks, barely holding it together, I would tell her a few things. 1, you're not crazy, and your nervous system is trying to protect you. The anxiety and the shutdown and the chronic pain are not character flaws. Like we touched on earlier with feeling that heavy depression and anxiety and not being able to clean or cook or function normal little things. That is not a flaw. That is not who you are. These are signs from your body that you are in survival mode and you have been in survival mode for too long. But you can rewire that. You are not stuck. This is not your forever. You can get out of it, but it starts with a choice. You have to choose today that you are going to leave this incredible version of yourself that has been keeping you alive and moving forward. You're going to leave this beautiful version of you behind and step into the new version of you, the real version of you, the authentic version of you. I always, at the end of my captions on Instagram, I use a caterpillar emoji and an arrow and sparkles and then a butterfly, because I want to remind you that you are in the transformation. And when you're stuck in the chrysalis, which you might be right now, if you can relate to any of this, you might be stuck in the chrysalis right now, and it can be painful, and it's a part of the growth. And when you come out the other side, you're going to be so happy that you kept pushing through. And I promise you that you can change your current circumstances, and you will if you decide to and if you stick to it. Number 2, God is not distant from your healing. He's not waiting for you to get it together or to be perfect or to have some dramatic aha moment. He's with you in the breakdown, and he's with you, and he wants to speak to you. When I had that divine download to search Christian energy healing, that was him speaking to me. He's always offering you answers, and he's always there for you. A lot of times we are just blocking him out, and we're not actually willing to receive. We're not willing to see. We're not willing to hear or peel back the blinders, because it means we have to change. Set that intention now that you are ready to see, you are ready to hear, you are ready to change, because life gets so much better on the other side. And he is with you through it all, and he will hold you up. And he will give you the energy to keep going. Ask him for it. You do not have because you do not ask. Okay, number 3, you don't have to earn your breakthrough. You just have to align with it. Over here in the Quantum Mama podcast, I'm going to be talking a lot about aligning with ease, aligning with your most authentic self, and letting things flow and surrendering, because healing does not always come from trying harder. We do have to do work, but it a lot of times comes from letting go, opening our hands and saying, here you go, God, I am ready. Getting still and asking, what would it feel like if I already had the healing and the peace and the abundance that I've been chasing? When you can get into this feeling, that is a frequency. And so the more you can be in the frequency of envisioning and feeling what it will be like to already be on the other side and embody that now, that frequency will become your field. If you've made it this far in the podcast, thank you so much. This is just our first welcome episode, and I want to tell you who this podcast is for. This is for the woman who is ready for the breakthrough. She's tried the mainstream healing, and she's over it. She's tried the holistic health. She has a cupboard full of supplements maybe, and is just tired of the hamster wheel. She's done being in survival mode, and she's ready to call in true healing, overflow, and alignment with God's plan for her life. If that's you, this space is for you. I want to end this episode with a short moment to bring you into peace and alignment with a little breath work. This way we can create safety in your body and open space for what God wants to pour into your life. So if you can, get comfortable, sit back, relax. If you're driving, please keep your eyes open. But if you are in a space that you can safely close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to anchor into peace and abundance. Go ahead and take your deep breath in through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to repeat. Go ahead and take another deep breath in through your nose for 4. Hold for 4. And exhale slowly for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And take another big deep breath in through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through your nose slowly, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now place a hand over your heart and another one on your belly, and keep breathing deeply. As you breathe, I want you to think of one word that captures what you're calling in next. Maybe it's peace, overflow, healing, alignment. Breathe that word in and feel it. Let your body feel this word as truth. You are safe. You are seen. You are being guided. You don't have to earn what is already yours. Breathe into that truth. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and know that you just created a shift in your frequency just by using breath and intention. So in every single episode, there's going to be an invitation to transform. I'm going to be sharing everything I've personally found to really, truly work. I don't share anything that I don't actually use myself. I'll be sharing tools and practices and revelations that brought me from burnout and breakdown to alignment and abundance. We're going to be talking about holistic health and nervous system regulation, frequency and quantum science, faith-led manifestation, the prayer of Jabez, business, network marketing, and social media growth, motherhood that honors your instincts and God's design, and always, we are going to keep it very real. Today, you can go grab my free quantum reading list that's packed with my 10 favorite books and resources that helped me bridge the gap between faith, science, and frequency. Just head down to the description and you'll find the link. And if you're ready to join my free private community, the Inner Circle, that will also be down in the description. And my last freebie for you today is my free ebook on energy and frequency. It demystifies frequency healing, energy, and manifestation. And you can grab all 3 of those resources down in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if this resonated. I'm so excited to see you every Monday here on the Quantum Mama podcast.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Quantum Mama podcast. If today's conversation expanded your mind, nourished your soul, or lit a fire in your spirit, share it with a friend. Tag Katelyn on Instagram at Katelyn Simmons Official and at the Quantum Mama, and leave a quick review. Don't forget to check the show notes for this episode's featured products, her favorite frequency healing tools, and a free gift. Created to help you go deeper. You were made to thrive, Mama, in wholeness, wealth, and wild alignment. Until next time, keep rising, keep resonating, and keep living the Quantum Mama way.